Hi, welcome to the Lux channel. So sometimes I do get queries from students about the course fee, or any potential students who are interested to join. They may ask or they may mention about the course fee, why it is so and so, and why it is tending to rise and change the pricing and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I would like to give this big picture so that you can get some idea. It is not that I'm interested in terms of frequently changing the prices, nor neither I'm interested to put so and so price. The main culprit here is the YouTube itself, because to sustain something like Linux channel, I need to have lot of resources. I need to have a very good system to do that rendering of the videos or whatever it is, and at the same time it is not something I can fully support at this point of time with this ad money itself. And if you are really not sure, I can show you my YouTube ad revenue so that you will get a big picture. Okay, so if you hop on to the analytics, so this is how you can see the past 48 hours views, and it is also showing the past 1 hour views. You can see here, this video I just posted around an hour back. Again, it is meant for a very selected audience. In this case, it is for college freshers. So whoever is in that category, they may watch this video. This is not for everyone. So this way I have very limited audience, and moreover, this is not like a women channel where they generally cover about lifestyle and travel, recipes, cooking and other stuff. Okay, so they usually tend to get more views quite easily, and they also get like burst of views. Someone may do binge watching, they watch one episode and then they continue to watch multiple episodes, so things like that. But in my case, since it's an educational channel, hardly anyone can watch 1 or 2 episodes per day, even though they are interested to cover or binge watch. Okay, so there is a lot of difference between how those channels operate versus a channel like a Linux channel, how it operates. So next, if you investigate, in my case, I do generally cover a little bit of advanced topics quite commonly. I take very much corner cases and I do discuss about these unique situations. This is not going to be useful for everyone, but at the same time, whoever is looking for such information, it will be really helpful, because nowhere in internet sometimes you can find this amount of insight. See, you can find something in a website, they may put a specific situation, or else you may find it in Stack Overflow in case you got any issue in your source and or your code, and you are finding some solutions how to solve a specific thing. But it will be some type of discussion, and some will help and some will question, and in a discussion forum it happens in a different way. But in my situation, I may cover the entire big picture in a form of an episode. So typically for me, every episode will take around a storage space of around 10 GB of space, sometimes 7.5 GB, sometimes 6 GB. Earlier it used to take around 3 to 4 GB, because those times I was not I was not having good amount of exposure to handle the camera, and also I was not sure how to handle a specific episode. So I was covering quite short episodes, and those episodes used to be around 3 to 4 GB or something. But these days it takes around 7 to 8 GB, or sometimes even more. So on average it is around 7 to 8 GB of storage space. Take for instance this recent video, Notex 193. If you go here, this is the project. So this project, after it is made as a tarball, I have done a tarball of the same so that I can push it to my NAS, and before that I will do some MD5 checksum and stuff like that. So if you see the tarball, it is around 7.3 GB of storage space, and I bet if you watch the episode, it gives that entire big picture. Anyone who is stuck in that sort of a situation, I often find freshers who get this type of a unique situation. So that episode, I have given an entire insight so that they can estimate these things even before they start their final year project. So it is quite long, and it is around 22 or 24 minutes actually. So for that, this is the overall raw project and as well as the compiled files. So you can see here, this is the file which I generally tend to upload, and this is the file which needs an audio dubbing and other stuff. So this is around so and so space, and this is the actual one which goes to the YouTube is around 500 MB. Okay, so it is quite small, but this is what I get it from the camera. You can see here this is around 6.2 GB, and everything put together it is around 7+ GB. So this is what. So this is the sort of a burden I need to go through for each and every episode. After I do the same, I need to push it in my NAS, and if I log in, you can see here this is my NAS, and this is for YouTube Linux channel. Trust me, there are other folders or data sets we call in ZFS. Let me log in into the same. See, the other folders is not much. It has data. The most biggest consumed folder in that is this YouTube TLC, and you can see here it has several groups, and if I go inside, it has another set of groups, and in this you can have this video episodes. So it is like this. So it has so much of topics, and it has so many videos, and one can say that one may be useful for me. Why not you cover that? Why don't you not cover this topic alone and get more revenue or something? You should understand it is more like an online journal. I'm doing it. It is not I'm not substituting any college teaching or something. That is not the point of Linux channel. It is not something to substitute your education or something. It may be educational 90% of the time, but at the same time, sometimes there are episodes meant for little bit advanced users. Sometimes there are episodes meant for college students. It can cater anyone. So I need to keep this aspect in mind, which is why long back when I was getting some weird comments, I felt to let me disable the comments throughout the channel. So but on the other side, by doing so, I got hit with YouTube SEO. My videos are not get much suggested to others, so I was getting very less views, and of course due to that, less views contributes to less earnings as well. So if you go to this overview page, you can see here past 28 days. So this is the total earnings I got. So $50. If I translate, if you are very new to this, maybe you may find it an exciting number, but I tell you, if you translate this $50 to Indian rupees, it is just 3K or something. Okay, 3.5 or something at this current conversion rate. So this is actually nothing actually. If you want to sustain yourself, and if you want to get any hardware resources, some RAM have got an issue, some motherboard an issue, or some processor issue or anything like that, this is nowhere it is sufficient. And trust me, I need to get always a hardware which is quite expensive. Okay, although I have done compromising quite a lot. Even I have built this NAS server. I have taken only consumer grade hard drives. I have not taken any NAS Western Digital Reds or Seagate NAS drives. I have just got this consumer grade hard drives, but even with that type of limited hardware, it went all the way to 60K or something, and now again I need to upgrade this system. I need to get another 8 GB of memory, DDR4 memory card, as well as I need to get a couple of hard drives. Okay, this older NAS has a slot vacant. I have removed that hard drive and put in this NAS server. So I need to get sometime a 4 TB drive, and then I need to get another 4 TB drive and start upgrading these drives. So it has all these costs involved. So these are the infrastructure costs. So anything, if you are using any free service, let's assume you are using the YouTube platform, Google have other ways to earn revenue in the form of ads and other stuff, and also they sell the storage space of Google Drive and stuff like that. So anywhere, let it be a church, temple, mosque, or let it be anything related to this, anywhere, if you have a platform like this, or else some charity organization, or else like you have this orphanage or old age home or anywhere. Okay, always it part depends on direct funding. In this case, in my case, like whether it is I get via my client consultation services, or else with through my students in the form of courses or classes, whatever it is. So this contributes majority of the extent, but rest it also depends on how I get the contribution in the form of donations or sponsorships, and as well as any kind of add revenue as well in this situation like this. So with this thing sorted out, if I take you here and I show the lifetime revenue, you can see here the entire lifetime revenue I got around 914 US dollars, which translates to around 60 to 70k on average in Indian rupees. So this is nowhere sufficient. If you see this way, it is this camera itself I got before I started this channel. This costed me around 40,000, 45 or 50,000 together, everything including this mic put together. This mic I spent around divided by 60, around $70 or something. Okay, so which is around 4,000 or something. This is a Sennheiser mic, and the camera, which is around 45,000 in Indian rupees divided by 60, it's around $800 or something like that. So it is like that. So sometimes international audience may think this is quite cheap. One thing is, it's not that the cost of living in your place is expensive. In India it is cheaper or something. In India the problem is electronics is quite expensive than in US. You need to put the 30% for every damn thing you buy. In India you get a smartphone which is around $100 in US. You need to pay around $130 in India. So it is, things are expensive. Okay, maybe the breakfast or lunch what you eat in US, I have been in US, I know the stuff. So what you do there or what you get there is cheaper, but or else even the rental costs in India may be cheaper, transportation may be cheaper or something like that, but there are other things which are quite significantly expensive. It is not like the other countries. And also I have my friends are also my students in other countries like Netherlands and few other countries. Even there the situation is the same. Sometimes the electronics and other products are quite expensive there. They can't easily afford like what people in US or Canada may afford most of the times. Okay, so that is one thing. So if you can see here the lifetime so far whatever I got is so and so. So naturally this gets translated to this course fee, and obviously I need to sometimes if I have a requirement like this, I need to balance out. See, one thing is I can stop this entire channel. Okay, I have a decision to make. I feel no more it is feasible. One thing I need to take a decision that I need to stop this channel, or else I need to do that. A way to sustain, how I need to sustain is a question for any business entity or whatever it is. Okay, so you need to have some equation. So if I need to sustain, then the burden goes somewhere like this. Okay, so unfortunately what happens is when the burden goes in this way, it will be borne by students. And trust me, if you have not paid anything and if you're enjoying these videos, you should thank me as well if you like the videos. But on the other side, you should thank my clients with whom I work as a consultant, as well as you should thank most importantly my students as well, because of them you are actually getting this free videos which you are enjoying. Okay, so this is how it works out. Okay, so they are taking this burden. So trust me, if I get very good significant amount from Google, I may not charge so much as well. So I'm not interested to charge so much, but unfortunately each time I get a requirement after requirement. If you don't trust, you can go to my Amazon. I can show my recent purchases, whatever it is. It's all meant for this NAS server. You can see here, this I got it for NAS server, this I got it for NAS server, and all this stuff. So let's ignore this whey protein, and this NIC card I got for NAS, this power supply I got for NAS, and you can see the list of hardware purchases. Okay, so this is something I took, and this is something I have written, something like that, and again this case, processor, whatever it is. So everything I took it for this NAS server, and a bunch of hard drives. Again, I went to the market in Bangalore. I took it in the market because this had some issue, and moreover I was not able to do a bulk order of 5 drives at one point of time. So I need to go to the market, I need to buy those 5 drives, and of course he is not going to give me for free. I need to pay money. Unfortunately I was limited with the budget, so I took 1 TB drives, Western Digital Blue drives. So each one is around 3.5k, which translates to into 5 drives, so 17,500 I took hard drives alone, plus couple of them I took in Amazon, so put another 7,000 or something, so 24 to 25k I spent in hard drives alone. That also just 1 TB consumer grade hard drives. It is not any server grade or NAS hard drives. Okay, so this is the sort of infrastructure or the needs it goes in, and apart from that I need to sustain myself, and I need to pay the rent. I stay in a rented house and stuff like that. So you compare your salary each month, whatever you get, and then distribute with respect to your needs in the house or whatever. You can see here I need to do the same thing. Apart from that, I need to also support all this infrastructure, which is the sort of a burden. So in your case, your laptop is provided or your desktop computer is provided by your company. The electricity bills and including the maintenance, cleaning the floor or toilet, whatever it is, they take care of that burden. You just need to go to the office, work and come back home. But in my case, it's a different situation. I'm okay to bear some extent of other stuff because I do work as a consultant. I do get sometimes stuff in that way. But on the other side, when it comes to the videos, especially I have this huge requirement in hardware, and sometimes any drive can get outdated. I need to change all the outdated drives. It may work, but it may get outdated. I need to change those outdated drives, or else if the drive is faulty, I need to change the drive. If RAM is not adequate, in my case, I need to once again upgrade its RAM, the newly purchased system, because the ZFS needs a little bit of more RAM. So let us just hop on to the same. You can go here. You can see almost it always consumes the available RAM most of the times. So once you access the drive pools, it will almost tend to consume the entire 8 GB of RAM. So ideally I should upgrade with another 8 GB stick to get any sort of proper reliable performance out of this NAS server. There are various YouTube channels. They may start with just 50 episodes or something, and they may take some smartphone reviews or some unboxing videos, or if it is a women, they may take about lifestyle channel, about makeup tips and beauty tips, or stuff like that. So they tend to get easily ad revenue because the audience is quite wide for them. Okay, so the audience is quite large. You may find almost if there is a woman doing in India, or if there is a woman doing in Italy, the entire regional audience, if she is taking in Italian, okay, so entire regional audience she may get quite easily. So entire country audience may see it. But in the case like Linux channel, first you should be working in so and so stuff, and then you need to be aware that so and so channel exists due to YouTube promotion with their suggested videos, whatever algorithm that AA does, and then it is a question of getting the ad revenue through that. So it is a quite challenge. Okay, I don't have wide audience. Okay, so tech is always limited, and if you want, you can also start another channel. If I can also start another channel and reviewing some smartphones and unboxing and all this stuff. But you just imagine, I feel it is so boring and kiddish actually with respect to what I am capable of to cover something which is quite grand and also quite unique and also quite challenging, and also address things which are quite challenging in case if you are also working in the industry. So that's the actual intent of this channel, to take that to cover that big picture, as well as put some extent of some journalism into the same, so that we can address some social issues. Sometimes I do talk about certain social issues, whether it is about a job, career, whatever it is. Sometimes it's an issue with respect to India, sometimes it's a global issue. So sometimes it's okay to cover those things actually. You may not aware unless until you get into the situation, you will think that this video is not required. So it is not meant for you. I can't sit for one specific group or community and address their social issues. So I need to think in a broader perspective. Anyone can come into this scenario. Once you are working fine in a company, you may not have any issues in terms of your career. After you work 5-10 years, then you may hit some issue, you may get a gap, and you may hit upon some type of an issue, getting any more new job offers and stuff like that, because the industry thinks rather than recruiting a person like you who have 10 years of experience, they can get a cheaper source or alternative of a different guy who may have adequate skills like you but may not be as good as you, but they can take somebody like him and then they can pay half of the salary, and they see that business viability. See, any company is a business entity. End of the day, they are not simply just paying salaries like donation or something. See, it's a pure business entity. They pay your salaries, also they do the backend business, and they see how far we need the requirement, how many people to recruit for this particular task, and they need to do all this evaluation. End of the day, this is what it decides the industry rates or the salary to be given for a specific skill set. Okay, so this is how the industry also operates. So which is why I'm saying you can't say this particular video is not required or something. Sometimes it is required for a person who is exactly undergoing that issue, and sometimes or most of the times I do cover research topics. Research topics are always unique and interesting because it is how you can relate. If you learn something about storage technology, later you can adopt this technique in networking as well. If you are learning something about operating systems, about process scheduling or something, you can adopt those process scheduling algorithms or techniques in network packet dispatching or scheduling as well. So you should think all these things in a bigger picture. You should not be like a narrow-minded person, which often happens. Okay, till you reach 5 to 10 years of industry experience, they think very narrow-minded. I seen system developers only think about certain things, aspects, what they work, and they miss the bigger picture, what is happening in the entire business community or the tech industry. And same way I have also seen people who are working in other parts of the tech industry will miss this bottommost aspects actually. So you should be a broad-minded person to think in this aspect. So I do think in this way. I can't think only this is very hot and I need to cover just to get more views or something actually. So this is also one aspect. So which is why these things, unfortunately the burden goes to someone else. Okay, maybe it is my clients or else the students or something like that. I need to push this burden to someone else, unfortunately. So this is what it is. So this is the reason whenever I get a query about a course fee or something, unfortunately what happens is that effectively I have translated and it has come all the way over here. And last but not least, see, one more thing is I have even put this donation section where you can pay any donation, and unfortunately I don't get anything in the form of donations as well. And one guy who is very generous and he is from abroad, although I have a lot of viewers from India, I have not got any donations. Okay, so what happens is I don't get anything in the form of donations as well. So you can see here in the case of Indian rupees, I just put around 100 or 300 rupees, whatever it is. In the case of USD, it is around $5 or something like that. Unfortunately, I don't get any donations as well. So if I get donations, again it is going to cover some amount of a burden, let it be hardware purchase or something. And this is why many YouTube channels, especially tech channels or research or educational channels, will put this Patreon and other stuff. See, end of the day, a person who is covering these aspects need to get money, let it be PayPal, Patreon, or directly you can get my bank account and you can transfer also. So let it be any platform. End of the day, you need to get some funding. It doesn't matter in which way it comes. So I'm saying this is the reason many people also keep that Patreon and other stuff. And some people, even there is a channel called as Fran Lab from US. She covers vintage electronics, and she have not enabled till recently, although it's a 6-year-old channel, never she enabled YouTube monetization, and she gets through donations alone. And now there is a emergency, so recently she have enabled her channel monetization. So these are the various challenges. Fran Lab YouTube channel. So she was being evicted and she need to find a different place for her lab, and her lab is quite extensive, and it has she have lot of vintage electronics, and she have her own challenges. So till recently she never ever enabled YouTube monetization. She only gets support revenue from Patreon, and as well as she sells some kind of guitar audio equipment. Through that again she gets some revenue. This is what it takes to maintain any channel, and I don't deny sometimes some YouTube channels, they don't keep a record of their recorded videos. They delete them after some time, or else they just dump it in some external hard drives and stuff like this. See, this is a mediocre way of managing a channel. Sometimes you need to take an archive and then you need to use it for some purpose. So sometimes it is required. Okay, it is always good to have an archive for any future usage. Okay, so it is not a good way to do the same, and sometimes they do maintain on a very cheap external hard drive. See, external hard drives will have internal hard disk as an archive disk. It is actually cheaper than any desktop drives. Okay, please never keep your important data on any of these cheaper external USB drives or something. I mean to say not SD cards, I'm saying this USB external hard drives. Okay, what you get around 2 TB, 4 TB, whatever it is. This is not a cheap, good medium to store valuable data. Okay, so sometimes they do tend to keep in multiple external drives and stuff like that. It may be a cheaper alternative, but it is not reliable and it is not going to sustain and work for longer periods of time. So you need to have a proper NAS setup, and then again you need to have some mirror and replica and stuff like that. So it takes time, resources and effort, but it is a labor of love. It is quite interesting to manage the same, but again it takes money to manage all these aspects. It is not something that it fall from the sky, or neither I get all this hardware sponsored, or I got this via donations or something. I need to go to the market, I need to buy them, or else I need to buy via Amazon, whatever it is. I don't get for free, and I need to get all this aspects to maintain a channel like this. So unfortunately the burden goes on to someone. Okay, so that is what. So that's about it. So I don't deliberately ask in each episode to like my videos. Hope you must have watched, and also I don't mention also to subscribe. Okay, so if you are anyway watching this video, I would like to mention that yes, of course, when you like and when you subscribe, it helps that YouTube SEO, so that it more spreads this channel to others, and more subscriptions. YouTube thinks that AI thinks, okay, this is a very important channel and I need to promote to more people. So if you want a cheaper price for your course, if you like my videos, start liking the videos. It is a sort of a known thing actually. So that is why every YouTuber almost begs their viewers to like and subscribe, also to post comments, because comments also works out like an SEO for YouTube algorithm, the AI algorithms. Okay, so that's what. So if you tend to help in some aspect, maybe you can do the same. So this will spread that awareness, so that YouTube algorithms also will think that this is an important channel, and then maybe it may help to get more revenue. So it also may going to contribute. So if I get more revenue, of course I'm going to reduce the burden in the form of student course fee, whether it is for Indian students or whether it is for abroad students, it doesn't matter. So end of the day I get via PayPal, again it will be converted to Indian rupees. Part it goes in the form of tax and other stuff, and part it comes, and again end of the year I need to pay my income tax and other stuff. So I have that those things done. So it will of course help me as well, the channel as well, and also by doing so you are also helping someone else who maybe not be adequate enough to fund for a course fee, but they are good enough to learn from these videos and self-learn. Okay, so this is the reason. If you investigate, I don't get any sudden huge hike or something of any subscription rate. Sometime I got some offer, and I got free ad credit. Sometimes Google gives that 2k ad credit. Hope you must have got a mail also sometimes. So sometimes they give that credit. I got a credit I think for my wife's account or something. So in that I put a free ad, so I got some boost in subscribers. But other than that, if you see the subscription rate, it never have jumped up just because the channel have more videos or channel coverage have increased. So this is something, if you are new to all these aspects, this is the case, this is the issue. All these things are reflected in the course fee. So if I get more reach and more revenue, of course you don't need to pay so and so course fee. easily. So hope this gives that insight and as well as a big picture. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. Please do subscribe to the Linux channel if you haven't subscribed to the same. Thanks a lot for joining me. Stay tuned. Have a nice day. Bye bye.